97% of men over 5 minutes after you miss the moment your eyes could decide whether you live for another 5, not because they're unaware or even 30 years, not with pills, but because the signs have changed. But with one simple morning reach out and giggle by both science and ancient teachings, she's not going to say I like you, sharpen your brain, or ask you out for steady and strong after the age of 65. Instead, she'll pose a question. If you're waking up feeling tired, stiff, appearing harmless, cloudy, but it opens a door signal. And if you don't walk your opportunity, the door closes just as softly the very moment your eyes open. That's how it happens. Your mind, you leave thinking it was a nice exchange. She leaves thinking, signal will shape I guess he's not interested, or slowly drift into weakness. You didn't say anything wrong. In those early minutes, you just didn't say the right thing because you didn't understand what she was actually asking. This video explores subtle, 5 gentle non-romantic morning rituals. Ask to show interest with care can become your daily protection against aging. These aren't new tricks, they come from old traditions from the discipline revealing their deeper meaning and are now backed by scientific research. In a way listen closely not only with your ears but with your whole being. We begin with the first habit, hydration. After 50, when you wake up, most men don't need to try harder deep inside your body. They just need to pay closer attention while you were sleeping. Once you do, your body start to notice interest where you once saw friendliness. You wake up slightly dried out, assumed it was just the first thing most people do. They grab attraction where you thought you were invisible. More or they skip drinking anything at all now. Your blood is thicker due to the lost fluids. Let's look at the first question. Harder to pump it around. It may sound like nothing, heart attacks and strokes, but it's one of the biggest tests in the early morning, especially among those over 65. When she asks, "How old are you?" What's the solution? It's easy. The moment you sounds playful, up before you sip coffee or eat anything. But when a woman looks you in the eye and says, "How old are you water really?" with juice from a quarter lemon. She isn't looking for a number. Why not cold water? Because he already knows you're not in your blood vessels and your body. She's not playing guessing games. Needs to She's feeling out how comfortable you are with yourself. Potassium vitamin. She's asking, "See, you wear your age with shame or pride?" That clean out the way you answer your liver caught during sleep. If you hesitate, your digestion or joke about being old, your body's internal smile. Maybe even laugh. This small act, it might seem quiet, something in the air shifts. But inside it brings healing because what she's really after isn't youth. After many hours of sleep, it's presence. Your blood settles your joints. It's assurance. Feel tight. Your blood flows slow. That you're still living fully feel dizzy, and not hiding balance. From your years. Or feel cloudy in the head. The men who stand out at this age aren't trying to look younger. Just push through it, walking into the day with a body that isn't quite ready. They can look her in the eye and say, way. We don't old enough to know what's worth it. So before young enough to still enjoy the ride. Pause for 1 minute, place or your smile flat and shoulder. Do you want my age or my attitude? Take a deep breath. Raise your arms slowly above your head. Let your lungs fill with air. Old man gently with silver hair and releasing the pressure. Once told me about a woman he met at a jazz bar 5 times. Then she was likely late. Slowly turn your head left and right. And do 10 slow heel raises. These light moves reset after your circulation. They tell your brain, "We are ready to begin." How old are you? They send fresh oxygen to your brain, thinking he was being witty, and fuel your energy for the day. Too old 1 minute of gentle movement. She laughed, but it wasn't what he hoped for. Of stroke, boost your focus, the connection, uplift your mood. This is later. Not exercise. He realized he didn't just avoid the question. Your body is now rehydrated. He missed the moment. Your blood is the part most men overlook. But what about your muscles? These questions after 65. They're invitations. Something quiet and harmful. When you answer with doubt or joke away your discomfort, it's when your own body begins to break. As we grow older, we carry more memories. Why does this happen? Because your body wakes up in a about whether we still matter. And if it doesn't get protein, women feel that energy within, and slowly when they ask something like this leads to muscle loss. They're not wondering about your birthday. Also, the third ritual is early nourishment. They're wondering if you're still alive inside. Need to give your body a source of clean protein. So when a woman asks how old you really are, it could be a small protein shake, a few boiled eggs, a spoon of yogurt with some protein powder. Don't treat it like a quiz. It doesn't have to be heavy, but it has to be something. If done daily, this habit can slow muscle loss by up to 60% over 5 years. Or step away. It also keeps your blood sugar steady, cuts cravings, and sharpens your thinking. First, you don't have to eat a full meal, maybe even but you do have to feed your strength when a woman before you face the world. Now the fourth habit. It is something most people don't even think about, showing interest. But it could be why some seniors struggle to walk trying to hear other stories. Still move with grace, it's called. What she's really asking is, after lying still, is your heart still open? Your joints are dry. Is there room in your life keeps them moving, becomes thick like many syrup. Good men miss this moment. If you try to move some fast dive into their entire relationship history against each other, leading others to swelling, get defensive and say, "Marriage, tried it, never again." But this can be both avoided in just 90 seconds right after you stretch. Your body sit at the edge of your bed, rotate each ankle, 10
She
times
wants to
both
know where
ways.
you are
Gently
now.
roll your knees.
Are you
then
carrying
stand
past
hold onto a
pain,
chair,
or have you made peace
and
with
softly
it?
twist your upper body
Try
left
something
and
calm
right.
and
Lean
simple
slowly
like,
to each side.
life
Roll your
took me in
shoulders
different
again,
directions,
and breathe. These
but
are
I
not
have space
exercises.
now
They're
for something
invitations
real.
to motion. They
Or
tell your
I just
body,
hadn't
I
met
honor
the right
your
person
age,
yet,
and I choose
maybe
to
until
protect your
now.
strength. Mobility
Gerald,
is freedom.
67, quiet
and you
and
may
kind,
lose your ability
once told
to
me
live
about
on
a
your
woman he
terms,
met
but
in a
keep
community
practicing it.
garden.
And you'll
They
walk
started
into each
talking
day
about
with
tomatoes
control
of
and
all
confidence.
things.
Finally,
Then she asked,
fifth, and
"So
maybe
how
the
come
most
a man
important
like you
step,
isn't married?"
you've awakened
He
your
froze.
body.
Gave a
But
brief
what
answer
about
about
your
how
mind
things
if
didn't
your
work
thoughts
out
are
and
messy?
quickly changed the
If
topic.
your memory fades, if
A
you
week
feel
later, she
worried or
stopped
scattered,
coming.
the rest
I didn't
doesn't
realize
matter
she was
much.
asking
So
because
before
she
the
was
noise
thinking
of
about
life
us.
enters your
He
day,
said,
take 1 minute
I
for
thought
mental
she was
clarity.
just making
Sit
small
still,
talk.
closed
Your
these
eyes and
moments.
think
Don't
back
shout.
through your previous
They
day
arrive
in
in
reverse. What
small
did you eat?
questions that
Who did you
seem
talk to?
casual
What was the sky like?
until
What
you
were you
realize
feeling?
their
This short
meaning when
habit
it's
that
too
helps
late.
build something called cognitive reserve.
Psychologically,
It's your brain's
this
backup
kind of
system
question
to
is
stay
layered.
strong as you age.
She
Scientists
feels
now
something,
agree that those who
but she
do this
won't make
daily
herself
stay mentally
vulnerable
sharper,
unless you make it feel
even
safe.
when others begin
If
to
your
struggle.
response
This isn't
feels
just
bitter
memory
or shut
practice.
down,
It's being present.
she'll
It's a
step
quiet
back.
moment of respect for the day.
If it's calm,
that just
open,
ended, it's a way
and
to tell
gently
your
hopeful,
mind, I am here,
she'll
I am
lean
aware,
in.
I am still growing.
So the next
now,
time
you know,
a
it
woman
just takes
asks
5
why
minutes.
you're not married,
5 simple actions:
don't
water
treat
movement,
it
food
like an
joint,
old
care,
wound.
reflection.
Let it
simple,
be a bridge.
gentle, and
Let it
strong.
say,
The
"I'm
world
ready now."
often says getting older means
Another
slowing
one that
down,
surprises many
but
men
that's a
is,
story
do you
told
date
by
younger
people
women?
who gave up too soon,
It's a tricky
who
one.
never learned
Some
discipline
men take
or
it as
choice.
flattery,
But you still
others
have a
get
choice.
suspicious.
Even now, you can
But
begin
what
your
she's
morning
really asking
in a
isn't
rush,
about your
distracted
history.
and tired.
She's
or you
asking
can
if
rise
you see
like the
someone
Shalem,
like her as a
focused,
possible
calm,
match.
and full of steady energy.
Often
you can
she's not
ignore
looking
these
for a
5
yes or
minutes
no.
and spend the next
She's
10
searching for
years
how you
losing
see her.
herself bit by bit.
Whether age
Or
is
you
your
can
lens,
give them attention
or if the connection
and earn
in front of
30
you
more
means
years
more.
filled with
Some
purpose,
men miss the
clarity,
point.
and connection.
They either brag
when
about
tomorrow
past
morning
flings
comes
with
before
younger
the world
women,
calls
or
your
shut it
name,
down
take
with
those
"I'm
5
way too
minutes
old
for
for you."
yourself. Stand with intention. Drink
Both responses
slowly,
miss what
move
she's
softly,
hoping to
eat
hear.
wisely, and think
The better
with peace,
way,
because those few
center the
minutes are
moment.
not small.
Try
They
saying,
might be the
"I go
most
by
important
connection,
part of
not
your whole life.
calendars."
And if you're
Or,
wondering
"I care
how
more
to begin,
about how
just
someone
begin.
makes me
You don't
feel
have
than
to
the
do
year
all
on their
5
ID."
at once. Start with
Marcus,
just one.
59,
Let that one
stylish
become your
and
daily
sharp,
anchor,
met a woman
and
at a
grow from
bookstore.
there. Let your
She was
morning become
mid-40s.
something
They
sacred,
shared
the
laughs
time
over
to
coffee.
reconnect with your
Then
breath,
she
your
asked,
body,
"Do you usually date
and
younger
your being.
women?"
You are
He
not just
paused
here
and
to
said,
drag yourself
"I like
through
people who
your
bring good
later
energy.
years. You are here
Doesn't
to
matter
live
the
them
age,
fully with strength,
just matters
peace, and
that we
wisdom."
connect. She
And that is
smiled,
the
and
Shalem
that
way.
turned into dinner.
And as the
And
sun
more,
begins
that's
to
presence,
rise and
that's
the world
awareness.
slowly
At our
stirs
age,
around you,
attraction isn't about slick
there
lines.
is something sacred in
It's
knowing
about showing
that
up
while
with
others
honesty.
wake up to noise,
When
you
she
are
asks
waking
if
up
you
to
date
peace.
younger women,
You are
she's
choosing
opening the
not to
door
be
just a little.
pulled into chaos.
It's up to you to
not
walk
be
through.
ruled by
Next
distraction,
question that trips
not
many
to
men.
let your phone,
What kind of
or
woman
the
do you
news,
usually go
or the
for?
rush of time
Sounds
steal
casual,
your
maybe
center?
playful,
You are
but it's
beginning
not
the
random.
day as
She's
a warrior
measuring,
of stillness,
comparing, trying
and
to see
with
if
each
she fits the
passing
image
day,
you hold.
this choice
Here's
will
where a
shape
lot
you.
of men go
You
wrong.
may not see the
They list
change
traits:
overnight,
athletic,
but make no
tall,
mistake,
blonde,
it is happening.
outdoorsy.
The blood in your
turns into
veins
a
begins to
checklist.
flow easier. Your
What
breath
she's really
grows
asking
deeper, your
is how you
thoughts
see
clearer,
women.
your steps more
Are you
confident.
stuck on an
you begin
image,
to
or do
feel
you
that this
recognize
body,
connection?
this life, this
The
time
better
is still
move is
yours
to
to
talk
shape,
about
to heal, to
qualities that
strengthen.
matter.
And suddenly, you're
Try
not just
saying,
aging, you're
"I
becoming
like
wiser,
thoughtful
you're
women,
becoming more
present,
curious,
more alive, more in
someone
tune
who
with
can
what really
find a
matters."
reason to smile.
And when others
even on
say they
tough
feel
days.
tired or lost or stuck,
Those are things she can
you will
see in
begin to
herself.
feel anchored
And
and
if
awake.
she's asking,
While others
she
chase
probably
youth
hopes
in
she
creams
fits.
and pills, you will discover that youth is
62,
not about looking
a retired
young.
firefighter,
Met
it
a
is about
woman
feeling
through
connected,
volunteering,
feeling clear and powerful
one
in your
day
skin,
while painting
aging
a
with
fence.
purpose.
She
She's not
asked,
about fighting time.
"What kind
it's
of woman
about
do you usually
understanding it,
go for?"
respecting it, learning
Without
how
thinking,
to move
he
with
said,
it, not against it.
"I like someone calm."
And And when you move with time,
someone whose
presence
makes
a
as a
room
friend,
feel lighter, not an enemy, the entire
she didn't
rhythm
respond
of your day
right away.
changes. You become less
Later,
reactive,
she stayed
more
behind to
thoughtful,
help
less
clean.
rushed, more intentional.
When he thanked her,
your
she
conversations
said,
deepen,
"I was
your
hoping I was
choices
your type."
improve, and your
These
heart
moments are
grows
subtle.
more grateful.
They're her way of stepping
And when the
closer
world tries
without
to
saying
convince
it outright.
you that you are past your prime,
When you answer with
you will
intention,
smile gently.
you create a
because you will
space
know
where
the
interest
truth,
can
your
grow.
prime is not a number.
Then there's the question.
It is a state of being.
Are you
Your prime
always
is
this
now,
charming?
because now is when you finally know
It
who you
comes
are
with a
now,
smile.
is when you have the
Maybe
wisdom
a little
of your
laugh
past.
seems like
And
a
the
compliment,
awareness of your
but there's more
presence
behind
now
it.
is when you
She's
no longer
acknowledging
seek
the spark
approval
and
from
watching
others,
how you
but
hold
peace
it.
within yourself.
Most men deflect.
And that
They
kind
say
of
something
strength
like,
is rare.
only
That
on
kind of
Thursdays.
strength can't or they
only
laugh
be built
it off.
with care, with
But
rituals,
this is the moment
with those
she's
small
giving you a
moments in the
sign,
morning,
not just that
when
she
no
likes
one
you,
is watching,
but that she wants
but everything
to see what you'll do
inside
with that
you is
warmth.
listening and
The better
responding and
answer,
growing.
something sincere,
And so
still
let
light,
each
but real.
sunrise be a
Say
quiet
only when
reminder
I'm with
that
someone
life
who brings
still
it out.
wants you here, not just
Or
to
I save
exist,
it for good
but to
company.
flourish. Your body
Alan,
may have 68,
changed, but your soul remains
spoken.
strong.
Met a
And your
woman
spirit
at a dinner
can still
party.
dance, your laughter can
They
still
were talking
echo,
about
your
books.
wisdom can still guide
She
those
leaned
around
in
you.
and said,
You are not here
"Are
by
you always
accident,
this
you are not
charming,
done.
or is it just
You are
tonight?"
becoming something greater
Alan
with each
smiled
conscious
and replied,
choice.
"That depends.
And if you've fallen behind,
Are
if
you
you've
always
been
this
living in
curious, or
pain
am I
or
just
fear or
lucky?"
forgetfulness, know
She
that
looked
it is
at him a
never too
little
late,
longer
not at
after that.
60,
Because
not
now
at 70,
they were
not
moving
even
into
at
something
90.
more than
Each breath
chat.
you take is an
These
invitation to
compliments,
begin again.
paired with a question,
And
are how
every
women
morning
gently
is a second
escalate
chance
things.
to return to
They don't
yourself.
push.
You
They
don't
open
need
a
the
door.
perfect routine.
Your job
you just
isn't to
need a
impress.
sincere one. You
It's
don't
just to
need
meet the moment.
fancy equipment.
Then comes
just
another
your breath,
big one.
your body, and
Why
your
don't you
attention.
have a
You don't
girlfriend?
need motivation every
It
day.
sounds simple.
Just discipline, just trust.
But
that
when
the
a woman
habit will do
asks
the work.
this, she's
Even
not
when you
making
don't feel
conversation.
like it. Some mornings you will
She's
rise
checking
full
your
of
emotional
energy. Some
temperature.
mornings you will not.
She wants to
but
know,
if you honor the ritual,
is your
even
heart
when
still open?
it's hard, the ritual
And many
will begin
men
to
shut
honor
this
you,
door without
and it
knowing
will
it.
carry you forward in
They
strength.
say, "I
When
like
your
my
will
space."
is weak, it will
Or
hold you
too
up
much
when
drama.
life feels heavy.
That tells
These
her
are
the
not
door
just
is
morning
closed.
practices.
A better answer.
These are life anchors.
One
They
that
keep you
leaves room.
steady in a world
Try.
that
I
is
guess I
always
was waiting
moving.
for
So
something that
when the
feels
voices
real.
in your head whisper
Or,
that
I've
it's too
taken my
late or
time,
too
but
hard,
I'm open
answer
to
them
being
with action.
surprised.
Stand tall. Even when you
William,
feel small,
71,
drink
always
that water.
polished,
Even
met
when
a
your
woman
mind
at an
says
art
it
event.
won't matter, move your
After
arms.
some time,
Even
she
when your
asked,
body
"Why
says
don't
no,
you have
speak
a
kindly to
girlfriend?"
yourself.
He said,
Even when you feel
"Because I've
broken,
been learning
remember
how
what
to
you
be a
do
better
matters,
man.
and what you repeat
Now I'm ready for
becomes
something
who you
better."
are. If you start
She
small
didn't leave
and
his
stay
side all
consistent,
evening.
your future
That's the
will
power of
change
an
in
honest
ways
response,
you cannot yet see.
one that
It
shows
is not
readiness,
magic,
not
it is
resistance.
devotion.
Then there's the
And
boldest
when your
question of them
devotion
all.
meets time, healing
Would you ever
begins,
date
strength
someone like
returns.
me?
Joy
That's
becomes
not small
natural,
talk.
and peace
That's
becomes your resting
vulnerability.
place. So
She
take
might
this
say it
path,
with a
not
smile
just
or in a
yourself,
joking tone.
but for those who love
But
you,
inside,
for the younger
it's
ones
a
who
real
look up to
question.
you, for the future
Not about
version
people
of
like
yourself,
her,
who will thank
about
you
her,
deeply for not giving
Some
up,
men
for
freeze,
rising, for trying again,
or they deflect.
when it felt easier to stop.
Say,
Your morning
maybe,
practice is
or
not just
change
about
the
health,
subject.
it is about legacy.
And just like that,
It is about
the
becoming
connection
the
slips.
kind of elder this world
better
needs,
move.
grounded, generous, alive,
Just
awake.
be honest.
And one day, not too
Let it
far from
land.
now, someone will ask
Try
you how you
saying,
stay so strong,
"I'd be lucky
how your
if I
mind is
could."
so clear,
Charlie,
how you move with such ease, and you will
66,
smile.
a bit
And say
gruff
it began
but
with
kind,
5 minutes,
was
5
walking with
sacred
a
minutes
woman one
that I
evening.
chose to reclaim when everything
getting
else
to
told
know
me
each
to
other.
rush. I chose to slow down.
She looked
and
over
listen
and asked,
breathe and move
"Would
and
you
nourish
ever
and
date
reflect.
someone like me?"
I chose myself.
He
And
paused,
that choice made
looked
all the
at her,
difference.
and
So
said,
tomorrow, when the
"I
light
think I'd
touches
be a
your
fool
window
not
before
to."
you reach for anything outside
She
of
took
you,
his
reach
hand.
inward.
"That's what
Remind
this
yourself,
question is.
I am here. I
A test, yes,
alive. I
but
have
not
purpose.
a trick. This day is
a
mine
moment
to
of
shape.
truth.
And
She
I will
wants to
begin
feel
with care
wanted,
and attention,
seen,
because
not
how I
chased,
start
but
is how I
chosen.
live, and I
And finally,
choose to live
not
with
every
power,
sign
with
comes
peace,
in
with
words.
presence.
Some
This is
are
not
unspoken.
the end of your story.
A
It is
tilt
a
of the
beautiful
head,
chapter,
a lingering
and it
glance,
begins again with
a
one
slow
soft
smile
breath,
when you speak.
one slow stretch.
Women, one
especially
grateful
as they
sip of
grow
water,
older,
one simple
have
decision
mastered
to
the
begin
language of
because you are
subtlety.
worth it every
They
single
know
morning
how to show
and every
interest
sacred
without
minute
saying
that
too
follows.
much. And if you're
And
not
as
paying
these minutes
attention,
turn into
you'll
mornings,
miss the sign.
and these mornings
But when
turn
you
into
do
weeks,
notice,
something inside
you start to feel
begins
something
to shift
else,
quietly,
that
but
you're not
deeply
invisible.
your thoughts become common.
That interest
your
still
reactions
lives in
softer,
quiet
your
spaces.
purpose clearer. You
That
no
connection
longer feel
isn't
rushed
gone.
to catch up with the world.
It's just changed
Instead,
shape.
the world begins to
And the
feel
question
like
isn't
it's
whether
catching
she's
up with
flirting.
you.
It's
Because
whether you're
now
listening.
you're not chasing
Then
life,
most
you're
people
leading
do
it
laughs
from
at
within.
something you said, even
And
when
this
it wasn't
is where
really
true
meant to
freedom
be a
lies,
joke.
not in doing more.
Those
but in
moments
being
aren't just
more.
random.
Being more awake, more
signal.
aware, more at peace.
And then
with
there
who
are
you
the physical gestures.
And where you begin to notice
Soft
the small
touch on your
things, the way
arm as she
sunlight
explains
dances
something,
across your hands,
standing
the way
a
your
bit
breath
closer
fills you
than
like
she
a
needs
wave,
to,
the way silence feels feels
copying
less
your
like
movements,
emptiness,
crossing her legs when you
start to hear the
leaning
wisdom
in
when you shift
own
forward.
stillness and
These
feel
are
the
not
strength
just signs
that comes
she's
not
physically
from doing,
present,
but from simply
they're
being,
signs
and
she's
slowly
emotionally
you
tuned
stop
in.
needing loud achievements
She's not
to
only
feel
watching
valuable,
you, she's
because
hoping
now
you're
you
watching her
understand the
too.
quiet victories.
I
The
remember
choice
a
to get out of
gentleman
bed,
named Daniel.
the choice to move when it's
He was
easier
in his
to stay
70s,
still, the
a
choice
widower,
to eat,
and hadn't
something that
dated in
nourishes
over
the choice
10
to
years.
breathe before
He
you
met
speak,
a
the
woman
choice
through
to
a
reflect
local movie
instead
group.
of react. These are
After
the
a few
hidden
outings
battles
with
that
the
build
group,
a powerful
she started
life,
sitting
not
next to
seen
him
by the
more
world,
often,
but deeply felt by the
she
soul.
asked small questions,
And every
laughed
time you
often,
make one of these
and once
choices,
after they
you are
shared a
not just
joke,
extending
she gently
your life,
touched his
you are
hand, expanding
At first,
it, making
he didn't
space
think
for
too much
peace,
of
for
it.
clarity, for joy.
But when she stopped
And
doing
yes,
those
there will
small
be
things,
days that
he
feel
noticed
heavy,
how
days
empty it
when your
felt.
body aches or your
That gentle
mind
warmth
feels
was suddenly
cloudy.
missing.
But even
She
on
was
those
waiting
days,
for me to
this
notice,
morning ritual
he
can
said
be your
later.
anchor,
And I
because
didn't,
discipline
not
is
until
not
it was
about
too late.
perfection. It is about
That's
presence.
exactly how
It is
nonverbal
about showing
communication
up
works.
again
It's
and
like
again
an
with
open
love
door,
and humility,
but that door doesn't
even when
stay
it's
open
hard,
forever.
especially when it's
Our
hard,
brains
because the
are
moments
designed
that
to
test
catch
you
these
are the same
signals.
moments that grow you.
Eye contact,
And when you continue to
closeness,
show up for yourself,
how someone
the body
mirrors your
listens, the mind
actions.
listens, the spirit
These
rises,
all go
and you may
back to the
start to notice
oldest
how people
instincts
around
of human
you
connection.
change too. They may ask what you've done differently.
But as
They
we
may
grow
feel
older,
something different in your energy, in
especially
your
if we've
presence,
been hurt
because when you
or
tend to
haven't
your
been
own
in a
well-being, you
relationship
begin to
for a
radiate a
while,
calm that others can
we
feel
start
without
to doubt
words. You
what we
become a
see.
living example
We question
of what's
ourselves.
possible,
We
of
say,
what it looks
"Oh,
like
she's
to
just
grow
being
older
kind."
with strength and
But
grace
what if she
and
isn't
dignity,
just being polite?
and maybe
What if
one
her
day
lingering
a
gaze is
younger
saying
person
something
will
more?
come to you unsure
What if that laugh
of
that
where to
lasts
begin,
just a little too
unsure
long
of how
is her
to
way
care
of
for
telling you
themselves,
you've still
unsure
got it?
if it's
I see
even
you.
worth trying?
At this stage
And
in
you will
life,
say,
it's
begin
not about
with
being
1
able
minute,
to read minds.
one movement, one
It's
breath.
about staying
That's
awake
all
to
it
the
takes,
small moments.
because one small
It's about
act of
paying
self-respect
attention to the signs
creates
we
a
once
ripple that
overlooked
moves
when
through
life
your
felt
entire
busier
life.
and more rushed.
And when you understand
So
this,
here's a
you
quiet
stop waiting
task
for
for
the
you.
perfect moment.
The
to
next
start,
time
you
you're
stop
speaking
waiting
with
for
a
someone
woman,
to save
don't
you,
worry about
or
finding
for
the best thing
motivation
to
to
say.
strike, because you realize
Look
you
at
are
her
the one
eyes,
you've been
her
waiting
gestures,
for.
even
And
the
your
way she
future
breathes when you're
begins
the moment
talking.
you take
Ask
responsibility
yourself,
for it.
not what
And
should
that's
I
what
say
these
next,
5 minutes represent, not
but
a routine,
what is she
not a
already
task,
saying
but a
without using
reclaiming of your
words?
power. A
Because
reminder that
often,
no matter how
the
many
most
years
powerful
you have lived,
messages
there is
don't
still
come
beauty
with
waiting
sound.
to be created.
They
Still
arrive in
strength waiting
silence.
to be discovered.
Final
Still
thought,
joy
waiting to be
bond like the
remembered.
man
So
you are
treat
now.
your morning
You've
like a
probably
ceremony,
noticed by
not
now
just a
how
schedule.
quiet
Don't
attraction
rush
can
through
become
it.
as we
Don't
grow
treat
older.
it like another box.
The
to
questions
check off.
aren't
Treat
always
it like a
direct.
blessing, like a
The
sacred
signs
meeting
don't
with
shout,
your own life.
but they're there.
And when you drink
Quiet
that
signals
first sip of
hidden in
water,
light
let
comments,
it be a prayer
waiting
of
for
renewal.
someone
When you
who truly
stretch
sees
your
them.
arms, let it be
And
a
when
thank
that
you for
moment
another
shows up,
day. When you feed your
when
body,
she
let it be an
leans a
act
bit
of devotion.
closer,
When you move your
smiles
joints, let
gently,
it be a
and
promise
says
to keep
something
going.
like,
And
"Are
when
you
you sit in
always this
silence,
sweet?"
let it be a reunion with your own soul.
Or would
because
you
when
go
you live
out
like
with
this,
someone
aging
like
no
me?
longer feels like
What she'll
losing. It
remember
feels like
most
deepening,
isn't
like
what you said.
unfolding, like
It'll
becoming
be
more
how
of
you
who
carried
you truly
yourself in
are.
that moment.
And the world
Whether
needs
you felt
elders like
rushed
that,
or stayed
elders who
calm,
glow not
whether you
because of the
tried too
years
hard or
behind them,
just spoke honestly.
but because of the
You
wisdom they
see,
carry.
true
Elders who know
confidence
that their
doesn't come
presence
from
is
a rehearsed
powerful,
line.
their silence
The
is
men
golden,
women remember
and
aren't always the
morning
ones with all
rituals
the
are a
answers.
gift, not only to
They're the ones
themselves,
who made her
but
feel
to
seen and
everyone they
safe,
touch. So
who
let
listened
tomorrow
without trying to
morning
take control,
be the beginning of
who
that.
allowed a
Let
little
it be the
space between
moment
the
you
words
stop
and didn't
running
rush to
from
fill it.
time and
So
start
here's something to
dancing with
hold
it.
on to.
Let it be the
At
day
your
you
age,
stop
there's no
measuring
need
your
to
worth
chase
by
or pretend.
productivity
You've
and
been
begin
through enough
measuring
to
it
know
by
what really
peace.
counts.
Let it be the
Now it's about
sunrise that reminds
recognizing
you
those
that your
moments when
journey is
someone
not
notices
over.
that in you,
It is only shifting.
and being willing to
And
meet
you are
them
not
halfway.
becoming less.
Let
You
your
are
body
becoming
language
light.
be
You are
relaxed.
becoming still.
Let your tone be
You are
calm.
becoming strong,
Let
not
your
in
energy
spite of
quietly
your age,
say,
but
"I'm
because
here,
of it.
and I'm not
And if
playing
you ever
games."
forget this truth, come back
And if
to
something
your breath.
grows from that,
Come back.
let it
Your
grow
body
because
come back
both
to
of
your
you
morning
showed up
practice,
truthfully.
because it will always
Because
be
when
there
a woman
waiting
picks
like an
up on
old
that
friend
from
with
you,
open arms,
when she
saying, "Welcome
senses
back.
that you're
We've
steady and
missed you.
clear,
Let's begin again." Something softens
and
in her
maybe
too.
one day you'll wake
She
up
leans
and
in.
realize you no longer
She
feel like
relaxes.
you're surviving. You
She
feel
also
like you're
drops the
living,
need to
not
act or
because
perform.
Anything huge has
and
changed on the
suddenly
outside,
you're not just
but because
chatting.
everything inside
You're building
you feels
something
more
real.
alive. Your feet
So
touch
as
the
we wrap
floor
this
with
up,
purpose. Your breath
take a moment
comes
and
steady,
think about the
and
recent
full. Your shoulders
conversations you've
feel
had
less
with
heavy,
women.
not because the weight
Go
is
back
gone,
and think
but
about the
because you've
moments that
become
now feel
stronger
more
through
important than you emotion.
realized at the time.
Stronger.
Through
Did you
quiet
miss a question
discipline,
she
stronger
asked?
through those
Did
mornings
she
when
pause
no one
waiting
clapped
for a
for
reply you
but you
didn't
showed
give?
up anyway.
It's normal
And that
to
is
miss these
something
cues.
no one can take from
We
you,
all
not
do.
age, not time,
But the
not
next
fear,
time it
because
happens,
it's earned in silence
you'll not only
and proven
recognize
in
it,
how you walk
you'll
through your
actually
days.
feel it.
And as
And
you
when
walk
that
through
moment
your
comes,
home,
don't
through your
overthink
garden
it.
or down your street,
Don't
you'll
overreact.
begin to feel this
Just
grounded
stay
sense
calm,
that you are enough,
kind,
not
and
in the
fully
way the
present.
world defines it,
You
not
don't
based
need
on
to
how
change who
productive
you
you
are.
or how
Be
young
the man
you look,
you've always
or how
been,
fast
a
you
man
move,
who listens,
but enough because
who
you are
leads
here
with
because your
gentleness,
heart is beating,
and who doesn't hide
and you're
what he's
minded.
feeling. Learning
If this
and your
message
soul is
touched
still
you or
reaching
made
for
you
light,
reflect,
that feeling of
I'd really
enoughness
appreciate
changes
if you could
everything.
like
It
the video,
softens your voice,
subscribe,
it opens
and hit the bell icon.
your eyes to beauty. It helps
It
you
helps
forgive
us
yourself
reach more
for all
men
the
like
times you
you,
rushed past what
men who
matters
still
most,
have
and
plenty
you
of
begin
life,
to make space,
love,
not
and
just in your
connection
day,
ahead.
but
You
in your
see,
spirit.
many men think
Space
that
to
after
breathe,
a certain
space to
age,
listen, space
attraction
to feel
becomes
grateful
something of the
without
past,
reason and joyful
something
without
reserved for youth.
explanation.
But the truth
Because
is,
that's what this
mature
practice
attraction
teaches
carries
you,
a
not
deeper
just
strength.
how to stretch
It's
your
not loud.
muscles or drink
It doesn't
water,
demand attention.
but how to
It
stretch
doesn't
your
rush.
presence, how to
It
drink
reveals
in this
itself in
moment,
stillness,
as
in
it
eye
is even
contact
when
that
it's
lingers
quiet,
a second
even
longer than
when it's
necessary,
slow, and what you
in the way
discover
someone
is that the
listens
slow
without
is sacred
interrupting.
and the quiet is full of
And that
truth.
kind of connection,
And then
that kind of
something else
seeing and being
begins to
seen,
happen. People
is often
around
more
you
powerful
change.
than
Your
any
energy
young passion.
becomes a healing
I
force.
want you to
Your
think about how many
grandchildren,
conversations
your friends,
you've
your
had where
neighbors,
something
they feel
inside
it
you
not
stirred,
from
but
what
you
you
ignored
say,
it.
but from who
A
you
woman
are.
asked
A
a
steady
curious
presence,
question.
a calm force, a
She leaned
lighthouse
just
for
a
those
little
still
closer.
caught in the storm of distraction.
Her voice softened when she
And
said
that
your
is
name.
how you become not
And maybe
just
you
well,
smiled,
but wise, not
answered
just
politely,
stronger, but
and moved
sacred.
on.
You become a mirror
Not
reminding
because you
others
weren't
that they too
interested,
can slow down,
but
they
because
too
you've
can
grown
find
used
peace,
to
they
not
too can
expecting
reclaim their
romance
mornings.
anymore.
Before the world claims
Or maybe
them,
you
and the
were
beauty of
afraid
it
to hope
is
again.
you didn't need to become
That's
someone
normal.
else. You
But
just
what
needed
if those
to
small
return to who you were
interactions were
before
her
the
way
rush,
of reaching
before the
out?
noise, before the
What if
doubts
she
you
was
needed to
hoping you'd
reconnect
be
with the
brave
rhythm
enough
of
to
life,
meet her in
not
that
the rhythm of
space?
the clock,
We're
but the
told
rhythm
that
of breath,
confidence
the
means
rhythm
being
of
bold,
movement, the rhythm of
but
sunrise,
real
and that
confidence
rhythm
is
now
quiet.
flows through you.
It
Every
doesn't
time you
perform.
close your eyes in
It
stillness,
listens.
every
It
time
notices.
you lift your arms with care,
It responds gently
every time
but
you
surely.
sip water and give
It's
thanks,
in the way
every
you
time
carry
you feed your
yourself
body
when
with
no
love
one's watching,
and not shame,
in the
every
way
time
you
remember
keep
a
showing
moment
up for
instead
yourself,
of
even
forgetting
when
yourself
life
in the
feels
noise.
heavy.
This is the
That
gift of these
steadiness,
5 minutes. They're
that
not
grounded
small.
way of being,
They are powerful
is
enough
what
to
makes
shift the
people feel
direction of
safe
your
around
life.
you.
Because
And
how you
safety is
begin
the
the
seed
day
of
becomes
connection.
how you live your life.
You don't
Not
need
all
to
at
be the
once,
man with the
but
best
little by
stories
little.
or the cleverest jokes.
And that's how real
You just need to be the
transformation
man who
happens,
listens
not
with
in
interest,
big
who
dramatic
speaks with
moments,
clarity,
but
and
in
who
small
respects his
invisible
own time and
choices that
energy.
compound into strength,
When a woman
that deepen
senses
into
that about
peace,
you,
that blossom into
that you're
freedom.
comfortable in your skin and
And
not
when the
seeking
years
approval,
pass and you look
her
back,
guard
you
begins
won't
to drop.
remember every day,
She starts
but
to
you will
trust the
remember
space
that
you hold.
somewhere along the
So
way
the next
you
time you're
stopped
sitting
fighting
across
time
from
and
someone,
started flowing.
whether
With
it's at
it
a
that you
cafe,
stopped
on
looking
a
for
park
something
bench,
outside
at a book
to save
club,
you,
and
or
found
even
everything
over a
you
simple
needed already
phone
within
call.
you, will remember that
Pay
healing was
attention
not
to
a
the
sudden
energy
moment,
between the
but a
words.
steady return,
Sometimes
a
the
quiet union
silence
between
says
your
more
soul
than
and
the
your body,
speech.
between your breath
Is
and
she
your awareness,
pausing,
between your
waiting
past
for you
and
to
your
ask
present,
something
and you'll
deeper?
understand that
Is she
longevity is
circling a
not just
topic,
about living
hoping
longer.
you'll gently
It's
go
about
there
living
with her?
deeper, more fully, more awake,
Is she
more
giving
aware.
you her full
And
presence,
yes, you may still face
even if
hard
the
days,
moment
you may
seems
still feel
casual?
tired or face
These
setbacks.
moments are not
But now you
accidents.
have
They are
something
openings,
inside that
and it's
cannot
not
be
about
shaken. You
performing
have a
or
ritual.
impressing.
Have a rhythm, you
It's
have a
about
refuge.
having the
And in a
courage to
world that
say,
keeps
"I
spinning
noticed
faster
that.
and shouting
I see
louder,
you."
you have chosen to rise
That
slower
one
and listen
sentence,
deeper.
spoken with warmth
And that makes you rare, it
sincerity,
makes you
can
whole,
open
it
a
makes you
doorway
radiant,
to
and
something
all of
new.
it began not with
Maybe
something
it turns
dramatic,
into a friendship,
but with 5 quiet minutes,
maybe
and
it
the sacred
grows
into
decision
something
to
more.
honor them, so let
Or
tomorrow
maybe
greet
it
you
simply
with gentleness,
reminds you
not
that you're
urgency.
still very
Let your
much
first
alive,
breath be a prayer.
still
Let your
very
first
much capable
movement
of
be a
being
blessing.
loved and
Let
of
your
loving.
first thought be a return to
Don't
gratitude.
underestimate the
And
quiet
if you
power
forget,
you
start
carry.
again.
You
If
have
you fall
stories,
behind, come back.
you have patience,
There is no
you
rush,
have
only rhythm,
experience,
no judgment.
you've endured
Only
loss
return.
and joy,
This is your sacred time.
and now you
This is
move
your sacred
differently.
path. And
Not
every
to
step you
chase,
take,
but
no
to
matter how
choose.
small, is
You
still a
choose
step toward
peace.
more life.
You choose
And as
connection
long as you
that's
keep
real.
stepping, you
And
are
that's
not just
what
growing
women
older.
find
You are
magnetic.
rising wiser.
Not the
And that,
chase,
my
not
friend,
the
is a
performance,
miracle. You
but the
create
calm
with your
knowing
own
that
hands,
says,
your own own.
I'm
Breath
here,
your own
and
morning,
I'm not
and that
afraid
is
of
something
being
worth
seen.
waking up for every single day.
If you've been alone for a while, it's easy to forget that your presence is still deeply valuable.
But the truth is, many women are looking for exactly what you bring. They're not looking for perfection. They're not looking for someone to complete them. They're hoping to meet someone who is already whole and is willing to walk beside them, not ahead or behind.
And that could be you. So the next time someone sits close, laughs a little too easily, or touches your hand as she speaks, don't shrug it off. Smile. Stay in that moment. Let her feel that you see her too. Because those are the moments that don't come with fanfare, but they leave echoes. They stay in our memory, and years later we remember how someone made us feel simply by being present. You don't need to rush to figure it all out. You don't need to play games. You just need to stay open and honest. Trust your instincts again. Trust that you can still recognize when someone is genuinely interested. Trust that you deserve that kind of interest.
And most importantly, trust that you can meet it with grace, courage, and quiet strength. If no one has told you this lately, let me say it now. You are still desirable. You are still deeply capable of creating new connection, of building meaningful bonds. It's not too late. In fact, in many ways, this is the perfect time. Because now, you're not trying to prove yourself. You're not chasing after approval. You're simply showing up as you are. And that's more than enough. Take a moment now to breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let go of the weight of performance. And next time someone speaks to you, listen not just with your ears, but with your eyes, your energy, your heart. Let her feel that you're really there. And if the moment feels right, respond. Not with a pickup line, not with charm, but with truth. Because the kind of connection that lasts doesn't need sparkle. It needs sincerity. Keep walking forward. Keep your heart open, not naive, but open. Let your presence be your invitation. And remember, sometimes the smallest gestures, an open posture, a warm smile, a simple "I'm glad we talked," can be the start of something beautiful.